All right. We are back a bit later than I had hoped, but back nonetheless. I have a bunch of open tiles and hopefully a bunch of troops now. So, need to train some more of them though. Finally running out of grain, which is in a way a good problem to have. Since that means I can actually start saving up some other resources, hopefully, potentially. But, you know, typical season start stuff. Actually, probably need to sweep a little bit to get the grain. Let's start sweeping again with Dwalin, that way I can at least heal. Should potentially sweep with Arwen too. Skirmisher. Maybe just skirmisher spearman. I'll give him the pirates too, actually. That should work out. Should be good enough. Can he take 12s? He probably can. I don't know if it'll be efficient though. That would be the problem. I think mobs spawn in like an hour. Well, guess he gets a level 6 mob. So we'll burn Faramir's stamina, and I'm gonna need to count tiles and check GTW so I can get a bunch more 150s. Faramir's pretty alright for now in terms of stamina. So, what are the damage numbers looking like? It's pretty solid for T1 horse archers. I think in the long run it will have been worth side teching for those for Aomer and for Faramir's sake. Wait, somebody's talking about Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. True. Oh yeah, the new Treasure Island. How does that look? There might not be less 200s here. Hey LD. Hard to say. Maybe less. So, we should look at the map a little bit, LD. Somebody was pointing something out. Actually, I guess we can just do it this way. Look at that. I think it was during one of the streams earlier that I was talking about the resource distribution. And I was saying that I think they should put the better resources in the middle of the map with like enough resources on the edges. Somebody was pointing out they don't think there's any 300s on the edges of the map. By the edges I mean like any outskirt region. And now that I think about it, I don't think I've scrolled past a 300. I'm talking about Reese's. Yeah, like Epic Age. Did you play Epic Age, Muma? I played Epic Age, dude. I don't think I knew you played Epic Age. Should probably swap out these militia at some point. Need the path for one more. Did I know that you played Epic Age and I just forgot? That game actually did so many things right, but also so many things wrong. Oh, you played longer than me even. Yeah, I really liked how they did their map in Epic Age. They did a really good job with the map, I think. But I kind of hated So like when you took a tile, it took like 3 minutes to take control of the tile or something. I really didn't like that. That made pathing a nightmare. You have to hit the tile and then sit there and watch your army AFK for 3 minutes. That was kind of a yikes. Yeah, dude. Intercepting marches. Phoenix kisses toes. I can confirm that. Yeah, that Phoenix guy, man, he's weird. Good thing I'm just Karkilles. I don't know who Phoenix is. Yeah, 30-minute protection. Yep, before you could drop it. Intercepting marches was awesome, though. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if they ever fixed it, but sieging was super weird. Where, like, you could give somebody just like 100 siege units. But because they were siege units, they still did like more siege than a full march of infantry. And so you'd have people sieging towers and stuff with like 5 units. It was like super goofy. It's like if you're gonna make siege units be a thing, like at least make people like actually invest, right? But I don't know. Maybe they fixed that. Maybe that was just like a weird quirk at the beginning of the game. But like I loved the build your own commander aspect. I loved the arena. I loved the like you don't have to build specific troops. You just like build troops. I didn't like the siege mechanics, the pathing mechanics, or the you couldn't reinforce out in the field. I hated that. Like it just made things so slow. And like maybe that's what they were going for because their seasons were longer, I guess, but I don't know, it just felt a bit funky. Ooh, wait, let's get the help. Boom. I need to buy these. There we go. Gotta stock up on those every single day. Yeah, definitely slower paced for sure. Which is nice in some ways, but I think overall I like the quicker pace of Rise to War. Such a beautiful violin part in this song, by the way. I'm a sucker for good like piano and violin music. Huge sucker for it. Yeah, that is true. That is true, yeah. I got really frustrated. I wish there was a better way in that game to get the commanders that you wanted, though. There's like one nice thing about Rise to War is you get the respect items, and if it's not the respect items you want, you can exchange them for vouchers and then trade it, which requires patience, but at least you still feel like you're working towards what you want. Like, I really wanted Genghis Khan, man, and I couldn't freaking get him. Like, even with... Because they had, like, the special card packs, whatever they were. You know, they had limited selection of the legendary commanders. But, like, I just couldn't get the marches that I wanted. Yep. Yeah, so you had to... They probably did that for, like, FOMO. So yeah, when that chest came out, you're like, well, I gotta, you know, do like 200 pulls so I can try to get Genghis Khan, and then you just don't get Genghis Khan. You're like, well, I'm playing as the Mongols. Wanted to use my cool cav archer dudes, but no, I can't. I mean, I still could on other commanders, but... Ivar. I might have had Ivar. The march that I ran, like my main march, since I couldn't get what I actually wanted, I don't know if it was strong later on into the game, but it was dunking almost everything It was Richard was one of the lieutenants. Richard the Lionhearted. I forget who the general was. And then yeah, man, still grinding. Gotta fill up. I dropped a bunch of tiles right before the stream, so hopefully I won't have to wait for tiles for a while. Then there was another commander that had a skill that damaged one of your lieutenants as part of the skill. But Richard has that counterattack thing. So anytime my second lieutenant, or maybe it was the general that damaged the lieutenant, either way, anytime Richard got hit by friendly fire, he then counterattacked the entire enemy army, even though I was attacking Richard. That was pretty hilarious. And who was it? It was Richard... Oh, Belisarius. That's who it was, right? For like the first 4 rounds, Belisarius like hits your own lieutenant and stacks up a damage reduction on them. Pretty sure it was Richard Belly something. I don't remember the last one though. But man, it was hilarious reading the combat logs of Richard just going ham. Maybe it was Caesar. I think it was Julius Caesar was my general. I think it was Caesar Belly Scipio. Not Scipio. Caesar Belly Richard. Because I think Caesar had an early round damage reduction too for your own troops. It was kind of like White Council, I think. So I had like White Council on Richard, so he was barely taking any damage from Belly, and then also gaining more damage reduction anytime Belly hit him, and counterattacking anytime Belly hit him was hilarious. And I think after like the first 3 or 4 rounds, Belly's skill changed to hit all enemies instead of hit your own people. Something like that. Man, it's been a minute since I played that game. It was fun while it lasted, though. I enjoyed it. It was a good break from a boring... Like, I played it during a pretty boring Rise to War season, so it kept me occupied for that. And the devs were really nice, too. That's actually how I found out about it. They contacted me. They were like, hey, do you want to play this game? I said, yeah, sure, looks fine. They said, cool, you know, we'll help you out a little bit if you play and make videos. And I was like, alright. Alright, can I at least run my Apothecary now? We'll find out in a minute. Probably should be able to. The real question is, once I start hitting these 150s, will I be able to run my Apothecary? And that I don't know. Definitely need more stone, though. So I should prioritize stone on the 150s, I think. But yeah, it looks like... we got off topic there. It looks like... Yeah, hexagon tiles were cool. I also liked how much more stuff there was to build on the map. Like, you could build mints to get more silver and build... I forget the other things you could build. I mean, I remember the spike traps, the watchtowers, the mints. I think you could build something to get more command or whatever in your armies. I know there's a tech for it too. Okay, let's look. Here's a 260 out here. Yep, there's a 300 out here. So we definitely have to get to the middle of the map. There's a 300 there too. So yeah, they must have removed all the 300s from these outer regions. The PvP structures? You're talking about like the arrow tower things and the spike things. So I liked that you could build it, but it needed better siege mechanics to support it, I think. Break down his weapon and build a carver with smite and get the smite skill to 2 stars though. The attack from smite would be nicer. I think that's a fair answer. I liked the Mongol faction skill too. I forget what it was called. Well, I have 20k ore all of a sudden. Guess I don't need any more ore tiles. I probably just do my best to sweep for grain and then hit 90s with all my commanders so that I can transition to 130s on all of them sooner. I think that makes sense in terms of an overall plan. And I think that I kind of disregard which resource type it is. Just get whatever. His tiles in this area are becoming slim pickings, as it were. So I could pick up these 2. That'll probably be worth it. Yeah, did you know at one point, it was pretty early on in the game, I was like, I probably have a screenshot somewhere, I was like rank 2 on the arena in that game. Actually, I should find a screenshot, because now I want to know, I have to scroll back forever though, I want to know who I was running. Let's do from, wait, has image. From what is my name on Discord? On that Discord. Huh. Why can't I do from myself? Can I not search from people? You can search from people on Discord. Maybe I can't while I'm in streamer mode. Let's disable this. There we go. Yeah, apparently you can't in streamer mode. Oh man. This stuff's going all the way back to 2017. Yikes. When would this have been? This would have been like 2021-ish. I'm gonna have to scroll forever to try to find this. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I'll find it later, Muma. Just because now I'm curious. All this WoW stuff here. Classic WoW. Man, that was good times. My chess phase, finding some screenshots from my chess phase, good times. Yeah, I'll have to find it later. Age of Empires 2 phase. Yeah. Well, that's been off and on for forever. No, wait, when are we getting close actually? Because now I'm finding stuff for Rise to War. Couldn't have been that long after Rise to War. No. Maybe it wasn't in this one. Because this stuff that I'm now seeing is definitely after. Whatever, I'll find it later. I'll stop being super distracted. Arena was a cool concept for sure, man. We're in a new season already. Yes, sir. Yep, yep, yep. See, man, this is the season I tried to get you to join, dude. Look at these teams, Tom. I tried to borrow you for one season. IRSS, Chaos, Only, UTTP, Jedi, Time, Mora, Us. There's so many big freaking teams here. It's gonna be like the craziest, most bloodbath drama season ever. Fellowship member within 50 million miles. Desperate times, man. Desperate times. Wait, do I need to reinforce Faramir? Sure, we'll reinforce him. Only it takes a minute. Yeah, we were only in Bagan for one day, dude. Which, that was pretty cool. So I really enjoy the fact that you can queue in the end of season timer now. Or like you can sign up. Like as soon as that became available, we were like, yep, we're signing up. Yeah, it's Kings of Men that we're in. I mean, you'd be fine, man. To be honest, I've fought your account. Yeah, I saw somebody linked the screenshot in our chat. You definitely deserve it too, by the way. So you were killing it, man. That's for sure. That's gotta be like some of the highest prestige of anybody ever in this game. Like there's probably somebody out there, like maybe Fish or what were those people that took DG as just 2 people? Yeah, I would say that's better. What did Bree say? Suppose that means I can go over. True? Fair is fair. I mean, I'll be using almost purely... Actually, I will be using purely good commanders this season. I'll be using evil troops on them, probably. Like, I would like to run Great Beasts with Arbalests on Faramir. Am I crazy, Muma, or does that sound ridiculous? I was thinking about it before the season, because I was deciding what I was going to run on Karch. It's like obviously GTW, and then like Faramir's R25 with almost perfect gear, so how do you like not run him? But I was thinking about the difference between Faramir with Great Beast and Sunni with Great Beast, and Sunni actually loses 30% damage-ish, minus the Great Beast differential. But she actually loses some damage by slotting in Great Beasts in place of Evil Men. Whereas with Faramir, you're still getting the advantage of Arbs. You're getting 45% from Guide, 60% from Unique. That's 105% damage for the first 2 rounds. Plus, he himself is going to be dropping like 75k in the first 2 rounds. It's just, I guess, after that you're much weaker than Sunni. Because Sunni's still getting the plus 60% the whole combat, whereas Inspiration is, what, first 3? So they have about the same for the first 2 rounds. Sunni has more in round 3, and then after round 3. That's good. Great Beasts are just pricey, yeah. It does seem super good with Haldir too. I was actually thinking, okay, would Great Beast Haldir be viable as a Sunni counter with snipers? No troll. Like, am I crazy to think that that would have potential? So we can look at Haldir. Where is Haldir? I mean, you'd have to be high respect, obviously, but like if you have beast training and the follow-up plus like max Galadrim and Fortify and max Guide Armed Escort. That's pretty high respect. Obviously, one in here. That's what, 22 plus 28 is 50. 51 plus 22 is like 63 points. That's actually not that high respect. Anyway, I don't know. The idea of super boosted snipers with Galadrim plus guide plus follow up plus defense reduction plus your healing for great beasts. Like, I feel like there might be potential there. The problem is then you'd suffer in other matchups because snipers kind of suck. I'm back, T. I'm sorry for being late. I got distracted. I was hanging out in voice chat on Discord with some people. Oh, he's way more tanky than Faramir. For sure. I actually still think Haldir is better than Faramir at R25. If you have access to beasts. Even with the unique change on Haldir. I don't know. Chad kind of disagreed with me, and he knows way more than I do about Haldir. But, not the public one? No, we were talking about some other stuff. Some fellowship stuff. You disagree that evil is more dominant. So would you like to explain? I'm not going to agree or disagree with you. I want to give you a chance to explain yourself. Or explain why you believe that. Because I would definitely hold the opinion that Muma has that at least evil troops, at a minimum, evil troops are more dominant. Reapers, Alks in particular. Probably Arbs too for the most part. Ranger Shroud better than Unique? Probably just depends on what you're running. I mean, Permanent Initiative is pretty ridiculous. It's pretty hard to argue with Permanent Initiative in this game. But yeah, I think now you just drop the Unique and run Ranger's Shroud. The issue with him is actually his weapon slot on Haldir. Because you can't run Giga Hammer. Not even an option, obviously. And EWK locks you into Elves. Which might be fine, but it's less flexible than Giga Hammer, obviously. Like, I think if he could use Giga Hammer, it would be no question that he's better than Faramir. Like, definitely better than Faramir. Now, if you want to lean into the pure Elves thing, then yeah, I think you go EWK, Ranger's Shroud, Hunter's Guide. I would almost argue going Discord Hunter's Guide and just sucking up the fact that you're going to lose to Madness. Because I think, on average, Discord's going to be more advantageous in a wider variety of matchups. And then I think Dragon Tooth would be the obvious accessory choice for him as far as gold goes. That's the other thing that hurts him too, is his purple accessory slot is pretty garbage. Like, what, you're going to run a Hunter's Mark Harp? Like, yeah, congratulations, buddy. But like, the TM Tooth on him is huge. Yep, can't use fireworks, yeah. But like, a lot of that changes with gold gear. Like, you can still hit plus 18 attack on Elves, which is pretty gross. Pretty fantastic. But it does lock you into... And he might be a commander that will really be a stonks kind of commander if these changes to base styles go through. Because then no matter what, you can have like March Wardens and Sentinels. Well, yeah, Dragon Tooth is trash for evil. Yeah, I'm talking about for Elves. Like EWK Dragon Tooth is going to be +6 to only elves, +6 to everything. Well, you're going to be running elves. But if you can always have like March Wardens and Sentinels, I think his value goes up a lot. Let's go get this stone. Evil troops are stronger, but I assumed he meant evil comms. I don't know, I would argue that in most cases evil commanders are better too, but don't open fellowship chat. Okay, wait, are you trolling me, LD? Trying to get me to open it, or like, is it actually dangerous to open it in the sense that like YouTube could get me? Actually need to train more stuff. What is Bree saying? 60 food. Worth about a dozen 130s and 150s. Gotta level up that market, dude. So like, for example, Khaldun is like the craziest commander in the game. You just don't want to open it, alright. Well, let me know when it's safe. I'll open it when it's safe. Now I need to upgrade my grain tribute. See, this is why I can never get main hall on time. I get too sidetracked by tributes. But it's just like the long-term value just nags at my brain. And I always hit this point where I don't want to sit here and wait for resources for main hall 6. But anyway, as far as commanders go, Khaldun and Sunend are pretty hard to argue with as the best two in the game. For tiles, Witch King is super good, but GTW, GTG are super good too. I don't think it's ever safe with Risi around. He's like, I feel like him and Capricorn are gonna get along super well. Gothmog, Khaldun, Sunni, Grima, yeah. Gothmog is just stupid on defense, man. Like, I don't get it. I just... The amount of flat damage reduction he gets when defending is... It's just insane. Like, it's actually insane. You might be right, yeah. I think they're gonna get along real well, LD. Alright, do I still have enough? 6 plus 6 is 12. I'm just gonna drop these. Should be fine. It'll dunk my power for a little bit. Oh, you missed meeting Tom Tom, man. He was just in the chat, but you missed meeting him last season. Tom Tom was fun to fight, let me tell you what, dude. Oh, man. You might have seen some of the screenshots. But he has R25, or close to 20, maybe it's R23. Fully refined gold Kirun. And he was in Rune, so he had chariots. So this man was rocking. It was just ridiculous. I mean, even my King of Men was only doing like a third of his health or something. Quarter of his health, maybe. With full damage build. Cabernuk's Dane beat him, though. Cabernuk's Dane is crazy. But I think that was about the only commander in all of Ungo that could actually one-tap that Kirun. Dwalins could do pretty well, but it was more of a mutually assured destruction. I mean, Dane was too. But Dwalin did okay for most people. At least the good Dwalins we have with Frenzy. Hit the thumbs up if you late feet picks. Reese, Lady Death said I can't open Fellowship chat because of you. Is it even safe now? Let me go to World Chat real quick. Nobody find that frame and pause it. I need to know when it's safe. I wonder if Care Bear still plays. Maybe I should have hit him up to come play this season with us. He had a pretty disgusting Kiroon too. Pretty much the same as Tom's. Like slightly different gear, but you know, R25 full gold, all that stuff. I tried to borrow a Tom for a season, man. That would have been sweet. Put that Kiroon and Karch's GTW somewhere, rotate guard together. Take like 20 marches to kill them both. Would have been sweet. I ratted you out? Sorry, LD. My bad. I didn't know that I had ratted you out. I wasn't trying to rat you out. Is it safe now, though? Can I go to Fellowship chat? Rank 2 in power. Oh, Rumoda. Oh, yeah, that's who I was talking about earlier. It was Rumoda and somebody that, I think they duoed DG one season. Just like 2 people taking it. Alright, let's start taking some 150s right quick. Where's GTW? Here we go. Looks okay now. Yes, scroll up. Let me think about that, dude. Let me scroll up. You trying to get me banned, dude? You spawn next to Mumas. Yo, I need to get some Mumas. Scroll, don't. I'm not gonna scroll. Although I really should have taken this 90 before taking other things. Do I have to gather some grain? I might have to gather some grain. So, leader of the free folk. What's up, man? Nice to see you here. Hope you're in for quite the ride of a season. Gonna be pretty nuts. Need wood and stone both pretty equally. Man, did Mac already farm all the 150s? Bruh. Mac, I'm gonna need you to slow down, bud. Here we go. Trying to farm here. All IRS pushed. He's the spearhead of the push. That makes sense. So basically we need to try and line up our whales with him. Sweeping. I'm running out of mobs to sweep. I don't want to start sweeping 12s yet on Dwalin, although I'm sure I probably should. Because he's actually 16 now. It'll be interesting to fight these teams. See if they live up to... I don't want to say live up to the hype. It's not the right terminology. What's the right terminology? I don't know. There are a lot of teams on this server that are more or less at least spoken about. I don't want to say that they claim this. But they're more or less spoken about as, you know, basically like unbeatable. I'm not saying we're going to beat them, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, how strong they are. Must be nice to have blue tiles. Yeah, to some extent it is. Probably need to path this real quick though. It does help. You saw on fellow server how stacked we are. Yes. I mean, I don't want to say for sure it's the most stacked season ever, but like, it's gotta be up there, right? Like, it's gotta be. It might, and I think there's a fair argument for the most stacked season ever. Never a true 1v1. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a 1v1 game, right? Yeah. That's the way it goes, T. That is how the mechanics of the game work. Which is why I think it's a bit... I don't know, it's a bit silly when the 1v1 argument is brought up. But maybe that's just me. Like, if you want a pure 1v1 game, like, go play RTS, go play chess. Like, I think everybody would agree that diplomacy is, like, the biggest aspect of this game. Like, if you suck at diplomacy, your team is not going to succeed. Yeah. Right. Sure. But I think you also have to add into the argument of that the diplomatic aspect of it. Right, so if they get ganged up on, there's probably a reason, right? Like, or maybe some way they could fix it. Yeah, if a team loses, it doesn't mean much. Yeah, sure. No, I agree with that. But I just think when people are evaluating a team's strength, the diplomatic aspect also has to be included. So, like, for example, I also need to figure out how to fix this chat thing, how sometimes it scrolls and sometimes it doesn't. To use RUSC as an example, in combat, they're a pretty strong team, but they just can't grasp the diplomatic aspect of the game. And so, like, they'll do well, and then they start being toxic, and their leaders can't rein it in or smooth it over. So then everybody turns against them, and then they're like, oh, well, if it was 1v1, we'd beat everybody, but we lost because it's a 7v1. It's like, yeah, it's a 7v1 because you're talking about dumb shit in world chat. Well, sometimes I'm good at Diplo. It's been a couple seasons since I've done it, so I'm out of practice. But like last season was War of the Ring, no Diplo there. The season before that was basically no Diplo. It was just us versus the server, and you know, there was only one other really good team. You suck at Diplo, but you wanted to be Diplo, dude. You begged me to do Diplo this season, bro. And now you're sitting here, dude, I really wanted to do Diplo Phoenix, but I suck at it. Like, what? What? Doesn't make sense, T. Is this gonna destroy me if I hit this pirate mob? Hopefully not. OG Wolf. Got it. Cool. One problem on this server that I'm kind of already calling. You would have stepped that up for me. Yeah, you abandoned me, dude. At the final hours. Yeah, by the way, I'm not playing with Ungo. One problem on this server that I'm going to predict. Probably doesn't take a genius to predict it. Okay, let's count the kingdoms that we know. I think this is all public. I'm not trying to reveal anything. Alright, Dino and Sor are one team. That's obvious. Ungo and Time are one team. Now we have two teams. IRSS and Mora are a team. 3 teams. Chaos and Sith, wherever they are, they're a team. 4 really strong teams, which leaves UTTP and only 5 really strong teams. Those are all teams that are within the top 10 and 11-ish, right? But that's 5. Now you have Home and Drum, which I'm not trying to disparage them at all, so please don't take it that way if anybody from them is watching this. So they're a 6, potential contender, I would say. But then you have Burn, who I don't know if they have a partner. And then you have like Dirt and Crew, I think, or Dirt and GTSE and Raw and Crew, I think. Like I said, I'm not trying to hate on anybody. The point being, I think there are 5 super strong teams and then some other teams. And obviously 5 is an odd number. So if everybody's goal on the server was to try and have a perfectly balanced server, it's going to be almost impossible. Right? Because how do you take 5 and split it up into 2 sides? Well, you can't. And so there basically has to be the hope that you could take the 2 strongest kingdoms and put them with the other kingdoms, and then the 3 of the 5 that aren't necessarily the 2 strongest, and don't give them the extra random kingdoms. So, you know. Wait, what? Is this? I guess I need to keep that one for now. So, I think that's going to be the biggest issue of this server, is it's almost guaranteed to be a 3v2 in some way, at least at some point. And the interesting aspect will be the 3v2 is probably going to flip around a bunch of times. Like, maybe at first, if we just look at the map, you know, maybe it's Ungo, Dinos, and UTTP kingdoms versus IRSS and Chaos, right? And then that 3v2 goes, and maybe we're winning. And then Chaos and IRSS are like, you know, like they go to UTTP and they're like, hey man, like, you know, you flip, we'll give you a better deal. And then they flip, now it's a 3v2 in their favor, and then we try to convince Chaos, hey man, alright, they flip, Dinos flip. What, are you trolling, T? I feel like T's trolling. What level did I start hitting? 130? 16 maybe? 17? Probably could have done it at like 15 though. Probably could have done it at like 13 if I was scouting. I can't tell if you're trolling me right now, T. You've got to be trolling me. You didn't know I don't have a good GTW, dude. Oh, okay. I got it. I was like, I swear I talked to you about playing, like, season starting on Karch's account. This one we can start dropping, though. I'll come down here and grab that one next. Home Drum will make it a 3v3. I mean, ultimately the goal would be a 4v4, I think. Because you can have 8 kingdoms. So a 4v4 would be perfect, at least while it lasts. The issue is at some point those kingdoms are going to start falling. And that's, I think, when people are going to start flipping and stuff. So. You scout though, don't you? Nope. Hang on, let me read this real quick. Oh. Oh, interesting. That's fine. Huh, I bet I know how it's done. I have 2 guesses of how it's done, but that's actually a big problem. That's awkward. Hang on, let me try. T, will you test something with me real quick? Is your alt account out of a fellowship? Because there's a potential exploit running around, which is going to be super awkward if the devs don't fix it, or if we don't like all agree to not use it. Yeah, I have 2 theories. One I could test with your alt T if you're not in a fellowship. It's in one. Yeah, can you send me a message on... I just need to know what the name is. So there's some way that you can have people in your fellowship that are not in your... So the intended mechanic is if you want to join a fellowship, you have to be within the greater region that that fellowship is a part of. Right, so... No, I just need the name. We can test my first theory. Type in world chat. I love tea. There we go. Yeah, intended mechanic, you have to be within a overall region to join a fellowship whose leader resides in that region. The current exploit is apparently you don't have to. Which is going to be super awkward because that means people can bypass these enormous choke points that you're not supposed to be able to bypass. Because apparently you can invite people from across the world. So... Sorry, I wasn't sure if there's... No. It's all good. Diplo, Fort and go. It definitely has been a long day. Alright, let's see. Cat. Let's see. Alright, so that's not the way. So my second guess would be you join the fellowship and then transfer. Can you transfer while you're in a fellowship? I don't want to... You can for the first few days. If you transfer region, do you lose your fellowship? Because that'd be my next question, my next theory. Oh, you're the leader. That's why I couldn't find you. So theory 1 is you invite somebody from across the world, which somehow bypasses the check of being eligible to join the fellowship. Theory 2 would be you join the fellowship and then you transfer yourself. So does it kick you out of a fellowship if you transfer? That would be the second guess. So confusing. Saw somebody in Enid Waith sprinkled around. Huh. Theory is either fight from across the world or join, then faction transfer. Yeah, you should lose fellowship, but I don't know if you do. That would be the question, is it actually dropping the fellowship when you transfer? I don't know, that's just my first two theories of what comes to mind. Yeah, spawning an original region, joining fellowship using 500 gems. I mean, you don't have to necessarily test move. It's going to take 500 gems to transfer, right? Am I level like 30 yet? No, not yet. Awkward. Yikes. Not level 30. Also need to train more. Need more troops. Okay, it kicked you when you moved. Okay, so that's not how it's done. What region is your alt in, Muma? Can I try to invite your alt if you're no longer in a fellowship? Yeah, how is it possible? Oh. Yeah, for calm, like level 16. If you scout Gorbag or... I think Gorbag, Mono Stack Dune, or what's that other super easy guy on 130s? Maltok. Mono Stack Dune. This player does not meet the current fellowship joining requirements and cannot be invited. So then how does it work? So the person who is Beck says sorry about the 150s, you're good, man. The person who is who mentioned this is saying that they've tested it. They said they tried inviting across the world and they get an error message. And now we just tested. It drops you from the fellowship. Ooh, 2 150s over here. Where is Enid Waith? It's EKH, Inarath, Karak, Faradwaith. She said Enid Waith. I mean, I guess anywhere outside of... Enid Waith used to be up in this area, right? No, wait, Edenwaith is down by Isengard. So that would be in Orthanc area. Yeah, that's where home is. That's where they said they were going. Let me try to find out where in Enid Waith. Greetings from Mexico. Well, greetings from not Mexico. Greetings from the United States, man. Nice to see you here. I'm glad that you have enjoyed the content. Let's see, where in Enid are they? Muma alts. Swag double GN. Yep, does not meet the requirements. So yeah. Can't invite from across the world, which is a good thing. So how is it done then? You can't invite across the world and you can't join and then transfer. Because it kicks you out. But there's some way it's apparently currently being done. Nope. You said there was other ones too. Enid Waith. Someone there saw it happening. Huh. I'm gonna have to go around clicking tiles until I find, unless somebody can tell me where they are. Wait. How is this? Oh, okay. I just had a third thought. Well, that's Jedi, not Sith. Okay, what happens if you get somebody to uproot you? Like if I asked somebody from Time to uproot me, where would the game, would it drop me anywhere since everything is neutral? What about uproots? You can't? You can't uproot somebody? Oh, because of protection. True. Okay, there goes that theory. Alright, they're in Lewin. No, wait, now they're in Enid Waith. What? Alright, but look at this T. So Enid Waith is in Orthanc realm, right? Maybe it was just the River Hop? Does the River Hop still exist? I wouldn't know where to look for it on the new map. I mean, obviously I knew about... Oh, but this was in Enid Waith, not in... Oh, this is Minhiriath. Yeah, I know there was the River Hop between Minhir and Lewin. So that could be explained if the River Hop still exists. Just don't know where to look for it on this map. I would hope they got rid of it though with the pass mechanic. Because like I totally understand river hops before. But with the passes, like, it's kind of a yikes. I used to know exactly where it was. I should actually keep farming though. So we checked cross, map invite, and transferring. Moves you. Does anybody have any other theories? Bit confused where the zones are. Well, no, but This also, I don't think should be possible, Numa. Theoretically. Right, you should have to go through one of the passes. So how do you get tiles over here? And dude has a bunch of tiles over there. The tile glitch is still there. So they kept the tile thing even though there's the pass now? So where is it? Not there. Not there. Where was he taking these tiles? Because it has to be near where he's taking the tiles, I would think, here. I don't know if it's still here. Unless I'm just not clicking it. I don't think it would be this way unless he already dropped them all. Your GTW is R15. Range build is still better than cav build. I would probably agree. I don't think the cav build would be very good in general. We've had a lot of success with dunes, but that's because there's so many Sunnis running around. No, I think in general you're right. I don't think cav is super great on him. Yeah, sorry. I think Capricorn messed a bunch with the ranged build. I don't think I've ever seen Karch use it, but depending on, like, especially in TE, if you have TE Woses, it would probably be super good. With Arnor T4, it would probably be good. Arnor T4 and Woses, it would be amazing, I'm sure. Very good. Yeah. Definitely less expensive. You just have to watch out for different things, I guess. I mean, the biggest thing from an RP perspective, since we're a good side RP team primarily, would be dealing with Sunins. And so that's why we've ran a lot of dunes on GTW. Since he tends to do pretty well against Sunni with that. With the stuns, with the magical barrier. On with dunes. It'd be interesting to try a range build on him. I'm probably going to get Arbalests at some point soon-ish, maybe? Huh. Has to do with leadership. Wait, but how does... Okay, I could see that. Alright, let me find this on the map. 717 1100. That doesn't seem like it. Unless I'm missing something around here. Oh, did I overlook something there? Yeah, Sunni is definitely busted in RP. So I just got a different message about, it has to do with leadership or officer. Leadership or officer has to be in another region, but how does the leader or officer get to another region? Follow the river, mate. It ends so he can march up. Yeah, but we're seeing it in more than just this area. Where was that? Was that over here? Somewhere over here. I can always type it in again if I can't find it again. I mean, the river should be fully covering him in here. Okay, follow the river up. I'm not seeing where it ends. I don't know. Unless I'm not seeing anything. So, like, follow down? Yeah, okay, it ends here, but in theory, if it's the guys from Chaos, right? In theory, he should only be allowed to spawn in these areas. Right here. So not in Minhiriath. So in order to get even down to this point, you would have to get across this river here that is guarded by that pass that goes completely, or should go completely across the northern part of Vorn and Minhiriath. So how did he get across this river in the first place? Right, unless it ends here, but then it's again down here. Yeah, that's an island. I don't know, man. It's a bit confusing. Alright, 150s. Gotta take more 150s before Mac eats them all up. Well, the difference is this is a totally different map. This is like the first server that's ever had this map, I'm pretty sure. Because I'd never even seen this map before today. Because if it's too many spawns, you shouldn't be able to invite somebody. Like if a region's full, it just says full, and then you shouldn't be able to invite anybody into the fellowship. So this is an easier way to see the starting regions. So you can't spawn in anything that's red, and each fellowship is supposed to be region locked to one of these realms, quote unquote, these greater regions. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that so IRSS and Mora are in here, right? This is where IRSS Mora is spawning. If it's full and their friend didn't join, they're just out of luck. they'd have to spawn somewhere else and then not get invited to the Fellowship. Because you're not supposed to be able to invite across those regional lines either. So the one tip we've gotten involves the leader being in a different region. But how do you do that? Could glitch from the players in the wrong area, so kingdoms are scuffed based on where the people spawn. I'm not sure I follow exactly what you're saying, Seth. Unfortunately. I'm not saying you're wrong, I just don't understand what you mean. You can be in a group before entering the season. Yes, that is correct. Yep. Yeah, that's what I heard too, Muma. Yep, they are edits. Everybody's in this server. Not everybody, but a lot of people. Yeah, it's not just happening from what I've heard in Enid Waith. Well, I don't want to click through all these tiles and try and find it and figure it out. I'd rather actually farm. Alright, so for the people that are already in a group, they could be spawning wrong. But they would still have to join the fellowship. Like, when it puts you in, it doesn't automatically put you into the fellowship, though. That would be, I guess, the confusing part. Because, like, we had that happen. So for example, as an example of what I think you're saying, and you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I may misunderstand. This new map was brand new to everybody. And we were under the impression that Ortog was going to be a spawn area to include Hills of Rune, Ashen Plains, and then some like Nirn, some stuff down here. It was going to be like 3 regions down here and like 3 or 4 regions up here. And that just literally was not an option. And so we had to tell people, okay, choose Mordor and just pick a place. But some people had joined before we got the message out, and they were designated as spawning because we split up players by regions to spread people out. So they spawned in the Hills of Rune, right? But because they spawned in there, we couldn't invite them. Even though they were on the team in Bag End, we couldn't invite them to the Fellowship, so they had to transfer. Glad you're still farming, not just looking at a river. So I'm assuming there are no more river jumps between the greater regions. Because like their goal is to kind of segregate the regions, separate the regions in more of an obvious way. Which another aspect of that I really like is now like borders are going to be way easier, at least on the outskirts. Right, because you can say, all right, you know, like anything that's in Mordor is ours, anything that's in Rune is yours, deal. And there's like this giant white dividing line between it. Jedis. I'm not sure about... So Jedi, that's Jedi now, was Jedi formerly known as Sith, not Sith formerly known as Jedi. So this could be legitimate. Oh, is the new map in bag in now? That'd be kind of cool if it was. GTW homies over here. Yeah, I used to know where most of them were on the old map. We would be looking for... Sith, formerly Jedi, not Jedi, formerly Sith. Yeah, Nicodemus never, like, we reached out to him to try to get him on Discord and stuff, but he just never messaged back or anything. Explain that Sith and Jedi thing. Okay, so there is a fellowship, a group, whatever you want to call it, where is Sith? Sith, okay? They're Sith, but they used to be Jedi, as you can see from season history. So this is Sith that used to be Jedi, and then, in addition, there is Jedi that used to be Sith in previous seasons. So, on our server we have Sith formerly known as Jedi, which is not to be confused with Jedi formerly known as Sith. So it's kind of funky. Who is this guy? It's from Time. So I'm kind of out of ideas on how it's done. I guess it'll give me something to think about while I'm trying to fall asleep tonight and my brain keeps telling me you should be farming more tiles. Beware of Supreme GX. Noted. Thank you, sir. No idea who this guy is. How's it going? I'm getting tired, man. I'm probably going to start making less and less sense as time continues to drag on. I'm going to start yawning more and more. So that should be entertaining. But it's going, man. We're trying to figure out how this weird bug... I don't want to call it an exploit yet. Because we don't know if it's like an intentional exploit or a bug. And I don't want to accuse anybody of anything without knowing. Oh. Invite approve. Wait a minute. I also don't see that button. Sends an invite to your group chat. Well, maybe we just need to keep looking for the button. Because the team channel's not still there. I guess we need a bigger screenshot potentially if he can send us one. So, the passes, yeah. You're talking about like these ones? So, from what I've sort of determined by looking around, you have, I think, two areas of the map now. External regions and internal regions. So the external regions are all of the spawn areas. The internal regions are where you can't spawn. And the passes between external regions are pretty beefy. For example, 55 level 50 armies and 70 million siege. Quite beefy. Certainly not trivial. This one being 50 level 49s with 50 million siege. And then the external to internal, or internal to external, depending on which side you're going from, are still somewhat beefy, but considerably less so. So like these ones are 40 level 40s, 30 level 40s. I think all of them are the same, 30 level 40s. So I think it's really encouraging people to go from external to internal and fight in the middle of the map. Another big change we noticed is we're in an external region right now, right? Because the season just started. There are no 300s. I've not found a single 300 in the external portion of the map. I don't think that they exist out here. However, if we go to the new Dead Marshes, for example, and look around here, then, oop, look at that. There's a 300. And there was another one somewhere over here, I think. Yep, no, that's a 260. I don't even think there's 260s on the outside. They're 260, 260, 260, 300. And so it looks like in addition to adding the passes and these greater overall regions, they have also messed with resource distribution, which I think is a good thing as well. Solo the pass with Gothmog. Yeah. Give them enough time and they probably could. What's up, T? What are you confused about? So I'm probably going to have to make an overall video on the new map changes. I'll have to figure out some more of them, but... They're forcing fights away from home territories. Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. I don't know about forcing, but they're incentivizing fights away from home territories, which I think is a really good thing. Yep, protecting farm areas to make fighting more sustainable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Sounds about right to me. I mean, you'll still be able to brute force your way in, though. It just won't be as soon. Right, like in other seasons, you could be fighting on day 2 in Trollshaws, if it's like Arnor and Loth. Day 1, even. If it's Arnor and Loth both running for Stone Trolls, which is now much bigger. Well, not much bigger. I think it's slightly bigger, though. I feel like it used to be only 6 or 8 armies. I definitely need a new chat display. No, for sure. Sometimes it works perfectly, and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't understand it at all. If you have any guesses on like what would be causing it to sometimes work perfectly and then sometimes like freeze and then print everything and then freeze and print everything, because I have no idea. I should probably just Google it and figure it out, but there's so many other things that take time. The teams that were in BE before they were registered. Oh, maybe. I mean, we were in BE for like a day, right? 24 hours or something. Alright, he'll be able to take 7 tiles, and he'll be able to take 3, that's 10. We'll need to keep that for now. I'll even know what 60s to drop. Do I drop 90s instead since GTW is hitting 150s? And he's not hitting 130s? Can Faramir hit 130s? He probably should be able to. Oh, and bag end before registration. Maybe. I mean, any theory at this point is a good theory. Ooh. My voice is starting to get scratchy. How long have I been streaming overall today? Quite a while. Show Faramir. Well, I think he can do it. The question is, can he do it efficiently? Chat delay, no chat delay. We need to put like a 1 second delay on chat. Maybe that would help it. No, not running Elro here. No, it's not my account. I don't want to mess with stuff on it. So, just GTW, Faramir, Aomer, and Dwalin for now. Get rid of that. Faramir's armor is dope, dude. This is why you sleep on Faramir, bro. Look at this crap. Faramir and troops. Ranged troops. 60% damage and initiative for the first 2 rounds. Yeah. So he's getting 104% damage and initiative for ranged units for the first 2 rounds. Plus, on his own, he drops like 70k damage in the first 2 rounds at level 50. Like 70k commander damage. Actually, do I just burn through the last horseman? I might do that first. And then swap over to T2s. Oh yeah, I need to start dropping tiles though. I guess I just drop ore on the 60s. $70k commander. I don't know, I haven't seen Karch's reports with Faramir recently. I mean, he pretty much just ran his entire barracks through Gandalf the White, and then he would mess with Faramir and mess with Aomer on the side. So I don't want to give you like a wrong answer on that. And my Faramir on my account wasn't quite as stacked. How many tiles did I need? I need like 10, right? Well, say that's going to be 4, and that's going to be 6. Plus the one he's taking now, so that'd be 11. 6 plus 4 plus 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll drop like 6. Without 5/5, he wasn't good. He's really, my Faramir was pretty good. Not quite as good as Karch's. My experience with him was just that he's a bit polarizing in terms of his matchups. Like if you hit Grima, for example, you do super well. Because like he's rocking Pursuit, he has tons of burst damage, and he's Madness immune. During Grima's Madness, initial Madness round at least. So you have like everything that you need to counter Grima, and then you hit Witch King, and Witch King just blows you up faster than you blow him up. So then it's, I guess I die. What do I need? I need more ore, and I need more lumber. He also doesn't do super great against like Reaper commanders in general. Grima or Moss? I think in general Grima is better. I think Moss has a couple of better matchups than Grima due to Harbinger of Darkness, but in general, like on average, I think that the Grima's better. Grima with Oathbreakers is just gross as well, by the way. It's actually ridiculous that in RP, Evil just gets pseudo free access to Oathbreakers and Dunlendings. Sweep with GTG, I guess. I have him skilled, right? Yeah. Because we need more grain, dude. Except he's gonna have to sweep crappy mobs if there are any. Nope. And everybody's eating up the mobs. You probably could do that without too much trouble, though. He can probably sweep 10s. Obies are super trash? Dude. I don't think you're qualified to talk about RP anymore, Taryn. You've played non-RP for too long. In RP, OBs are exceptionally good against good factions. Like, super good against good factions. In non-RP, I'll agree with you, yeah. Because everybody has easy access to alks and arbs and whatnot. But like, okay. Imagine you're an RP. What do you send against Oathbreaker Grima? Right, he's running like OBs, Reapers, and I don't know, whatever else. Halbs or something, you know, whatever. Dude, they for sure, like anytime there was good v good, for sure they were being used. Good v good constantly. You put them on Dwalin, you put them on King of the Dead. King of the Dead is like the most broken commander, good v good in RP. Like he's so freaking good in good v good. Put him on Aragorn, Gimli, anything, man. Yeah, I said in good side RP, bro. Good side RP, Grima with Reapers. Reapers and OBs, what do you do? No. Ranged GTW? I'd have to see it. Because GTW in general is like super hard countered by Grima. It's like his absolute worst matchup. GTG, no. No. Grima slaps GTG, dude. For sure. That's one of GTG's worst matchups, too. Aegis Pursuit, like, I don't know, man. You're still not countering the Reapers or the Oathbreakers, really. What's this Ranger GTW? I think if you're going to run Arnor T4s, you don't need Cataphracts. Those serve the same purpose. You just go like Arnor T4 Sharp Scent or March Warden. Actually, can't have T4 Arnor and March Wardens. Only if you don't run Anti-Mad. I haven't seen a good GTW versus Grima report in about 9 seasons in RP. I need more 90s. Or the other one that's fun is Frenzy Dune with OBs. Dune's T4 and Sharps. I'd probably just run T4 Sharp Sentinel. Unless you're in TE and then you'd run Woes' T4 Woes Sharp. Or Sentinel. Actually, in GTW, Sentinels are probably better in all cases than Sharps are. Oh man, I'm getting distracted and tired. I'm like zoning out, scrolling for 90s, and then like not even paying attention to what I'm looking at. There are like no 90s left. Kind of a yikes. Scents are better than Sharps except on like GTG and maybe Faramir. Yeah, Scents are better than Sharps on almost every commander. Search for one? Yeah, I could. It's probably the smart thing to do, but... Phoenix. Man, there's no 90s around. Also, Phoenix, there's a 90 2 tiles from your base. Seems good. Whale Sunni? It's gotta be a sealed door. Sealed door or GTW in RP. If Sunni has Aegis, GTG doesn't do that great. It'll be like an even trade probably. Although if GTG has Swans and Dunes or Ents and Dunes, that helps a lot. I'd love to see GTW beating Grima. Because I've seen the Karch's reports, and I played the end of last season as well with this, and every single Grima, even like blue-geared Grimas, maybe not blue-geared Grimas for real, but like underwhelming purple Grimas will beat him. But you definitely want Bane of Orcs. Very true. Definitely agree with that. Sense skill is so worthless? Yeah, but it's not their skill you're taking the sense for, it's their consistent damage output that you're taking sense for. So if we look at, let's see. I wish I could just look at the unit stats in game this season. Alright, so Sharpshooters during the first 2 rounds, if I calculated this correctly, are 30-80 average damage per command. Otherwise, they're 2200. Sentinels are always... That's not the right row. Are always 2850. So even during sharpshooter rounds, sharps only have like a 10% advantage. Ish, maybe 12% advantage, something like that. May have done the math wrong. I feel like it should be more in the advantage of sharps in the early rounds. Pursuit is better than Bane of Orcs. Oh yeah, okay. We're talking about two different things, I think. So against Sunni, you want Bane of Orcs for your dunes. Against Grima, yeah, you want Pursuit for sure. We kind of had like two side conversations going at the same time there, I think. Yeah, I don't want to build. I can't even see the stats there. What does the sharp skill go up to? What percent? Because I could calculate it from there. If we just have the percent in their base damage. Sharps are great on GTG because of Convener. And Faramir, obviously, Nobility. They're actually pretty good on Arwen too. Actually, Sharps are really underrated on Arwen in my opinion. Because she can stack Nobility and max damage. And Sharps actually get a decent bit. Okay, yeah, 40% is what my numbers had. So yeah, it would be 2200 times 1.4. Because their base damage is 18 to 26, right? 18 to 26 divided by 2. So that's, yeah, 22 average damage times 100 is 2200 average damage times 1.4 is 3080. Whereas Sense are just a flat 2850 on all rounds. Well, my spreadsheet has 40%. I just wasn't sure if that I don't know, I made my spreadsheet like a super long time ago. I wasn't sure if it was still accurate. Pull that back up. Dude, I love the all-men build on Arwen, for sure. Max damage is super nice on dunes and sharps. The really underrated thing about the max damage build, in my opinion, or not the max damage, the all-men build, is the speed. So we probably can't have a good example right here. But if you look at the speed of units, like Guardians and Guard of the Tower are only a couple points of speed different, right? There's a lot of units that are only a couple points of speed different. So when you're getting plus 30 speed from running men, in the absence of initiative, you effectively have initiative due to the plus 30 speed. It's pretty underestimated in my opinion, that part of it. GTG's not back yet because he's super slow. All Men Arwen in TE is pretty disgusting. Where she can crutch on Wozes. It's super nice. Well, she can also use Spirit of the Wood, which is nice too. Audio's way better. Thank you, man. Are you, you're from the Discord? You're AKA Jesus Christ? Alright, I should just use this search thing. Yeah, Woses with the 21% damage and max damage rolls. Well, I'm not going to take that one. I guess I'm running up here to take this one. Sorry, Warwick. I'm going to come take all of these by your base, buddy. Because there's 4 up here. That's cool. She definitely needs a lot of respect, though. It's me, Jesus. Glad to finally meet you, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I have this knob thing here. The gain knob. It's like if I slowly turn it up, I'm not gonna like bleed people's ears out, but I'm probably getting slightly louder. I'll turn it back down now. I think when I was moving my old computer out of here and putting the new stuff on the desk and rearranging everything, I must have turned this knob on accident because it was way up. And now it's all the way down, which I think is where it should be. Because it was even, like I was telling you on Discord when I was editing my videos, I was like, why am I so loud? Like, what is going on? I was having to, like, in the editing software, reduce the sound. Which, you know, doesn't clear up the quality at all. It's just making it quieter. See, Aaron, I told this to T earlier as well. Since he's a big GTG fanboy. I hate GTG in RP. But I was telling him, I think at R25, R1 would be a better season starter than GTG. I truly believe that. Like, I'm not even trolling. Unless you're Erebor. But in Elves or in a Man faction, I think she'll be a better season starter. Phoenix, what's up, T? What is up? Are we still buddies? I mean, I don't, like, dislike you. I mean, I'm annoyed that 2 seasons in a row you dropped out of Ungo at the last minute, so, like, we kind of have a general policy against that, so, like, probably not coming back to Ungo, but, like, it's just a game, man. Like, I'm not going to dislike you as a person for playing in a different team. Right, like, I can not dislike you as a person and also simultaneously say, hey, you can't join us because you fucked us over twice in a row. Right, like... Ooh, excuse me. This is when the yawning is going to start, because it's 11 p.m. now. And I was up at 3:45. War of the Ring was never... I mean, that's fair. Once. Oh, I think there was another season, but maybe I'm misremembering. So... Yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't know, I've known you a while, and I just don't... I'll admit that I don't remember. It feels like this was not the first time, but maybe it was. It's also a particularly awkward instance, too, because... going NRP for a season caused people in Ungo to say, hey man, like, you know, I don't want to play NRP, I'm going to do something else for a season, which is totally fine. So the fact that we went NRP, lost people, and then Karch disappeared, co-leader of Ungo for like a year, or however long it's been a while. Then Thorondil disappeared. He was like the best pather in the game and the leader of our pathing team. So We lost members for going NRP. We lost 2 leadership positions due to people just disappearing. And Thorondel was somebody that I had known since the first day Ungo ever existed. He's one of the most OG Ungo members. Known the dude for like 2 years almost now. So like losing him hurts, both on like a personally emotional level and on a team strength level. Then like 2 of our biggest players are on vacation this season, which is going to be the craziest season of all time. So like that hurts. And so then to lose like 2 or 3 more slots in the final hours when we were turning away people who were applying, it's like we're going into arguably the most competitive season in the history of the game, certainly the most competitive season we've been in. We're having to restructure leadership a bit. We're losing big players due to wanting to stay RP or going on vacation. And then, like, I don't know. I probably over-explained it. But I think it all makes sense what I was saying. It was just poor timing. Long story short, poor timing. Am I almost rigging 20 now? Yeah, about to be 18. I think I'm gonna start leveling morale and be a crazy person. Finally level 20 on Daomer. Actually, I should start putting points in here now too. Now that he's actually running full cav. Oh, full cav is beautiful, man. Look at that reinforcement time. This is why cav is the best. Right there. Best evil commander that would work at low respect. Probably Agreement, yeah. R5. Probably get by for the most part. If it's purely for PvE, then it would be Witch King. Although R3 Witch King is probably more expensive than R5 Grima. Probably by a lot, actually. Have to pay attention. Tile capped. Faramir can take 4. Gandalf the White can take basically 5. So I'll need 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So close. There we go. That was pretty solid. I might hit a 130 next with Aomer now that he's 20. I should scout it, but yeah. GTG needs to sweep again. Probably should aim for a 130 grain though. Well, you know, one of the best changes in this game for sure was that you don't have to be adjacent to mobs anymore to sweep. That's like the best change, might be the best change in the history of the game. 10, 10. There we go. You got timed out? Yeah, there's crazy teams here. Oh, by YouTube. Were you able to at least hear my explanation of why it was also just kind of bad timing? Or did it like totally... I don't know if that means if you couldn't chat or you also couldn't like hear and see. Because I can do the TLDR version of it, but I don't want to explain the whole thing for everybody again. Alright, I found a 130 grain. Okay. Is this guy? Okay, he's in tile. I won't steal his tile. It breaks your heart. You don't have to feel bad about it, man. It's like I've always said, nobody is a hostage in Ungo. Like, it's a game people should play where they will find the most enjoyment from playing. I would never dislike somebody for the choice of team that they choose to play with. Like, that would not make any sense for me to do, right? So yeah, it's nothing. I don't dislike you as a person, but at some point I do have to draw a line in terms of, you know, giving people the opportunity to join. You know, we'll roll it back a second. Ungo is very lucky that we get a lot of recruits, and we get a lot of good recruits. And so when somebody commits and then backs out, it's a big yikes, because that's a slot we don't have, right? That could have been filled by potentially a pretty good player. 9 minutes. Yikes. What am I going to do for 9 minutes? So, yeah, yep. A requirement to be on our team was GTW with unique. It's not like a requirement, but it's like if you have GTW with unique, it's basically an auto accept. My team really loves GTW. Yeah, I'm full on tiles, but it's gonna drop by the time I land. I appreciate you looking out for me, though, Seth. You don't know if you want to do RP? Dude, I'm in the same boat. We were talking about it on Discord the other day. The freaking, Oathbreakers and Dunlendings is just dumb. Just dumb. What's your opinion? I'm just gonna call you Jesus Christ because that's how I know you on Discord. Alright, Grima with Oathbreakers and Reapers. Does GTG beat that? In your opinion, Mr. Jesus Christ. You can give GTG Anti-Madness and Pursuit if you want. But would GTG, even with Anti-Madness and Pursuit, beat Oathbreaker, Reaper, Grima? GTW Cav is the best. I don't know about that. GTW Cav is definitely better against good than evil. But I think you get a lot more mileage from non-Cav. But like, versus evil, you need champion and high alert. For sure. So that's 14 points that you don't have for elsewhere. I mean, this build's almost done. So I'm going to put 3 more points here. And then 14 points there. That's 17 more points. I'm only getting 20 more. So I think you can see against evil, you just don't even at R25, you don't have the points for Cav. Keepers won't work? Oh, dude, keepers are really good on GTW. I was running keepers a lot on GTW the end of last season. I don't know. T and I have been in a forever argument at this point that GTG is bad in RP. I think GTG is absolutely terrible in RP, like super bad. But T still thinks he's good in RP. Yeah, the Dunlendings is more problematic for sure. Like, if anybody should have gotten Dunlendings, it should have been, or like a unit with a Dunlending mechanic, the ignoring war mechanic. It should have been good from the start. Because Evil Siege is already way more ridiculous. Like, Evil doesn't even, like, already didn't even need war. GTG has got to, dude, not in RP. Definitely not in RP. No way. But we can break it down real quick, right? So, I need to try to fix this chat thing again. I feel like earlier messing with the delay fixed it for like a minute. Let me just do this. There. Okay, in good versus good, let's assume good versus good in RP. What matchup does he win? Because I can't think of a single good versus good matchup that he actually wins of like popular commanders, right? Like if we look at, let's look at T1s. Dwalin absolutely shreds GTG for sure. Faramir shreds GTG for sure. Maybe he's fine against Taldir if you have Dunes. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen that matchup enough recently. Alright, T2s. Aragorn crushes him. Gimli crushes him even harder. Gil, nah. Aomer should crush him too. I imagine that Karch's Aomer would beat just about any GTG that there is. Then T3s. King of Men, not even a question. King of Men totally slaps GTG in RP. GTW should do pretty good as well. Elrond's gonna slap him. Even Gil does pretty well, in my opinion. Isildur should do super well too. Arwen is good versus good, yeah. Arwen is low-key super good against GTW, by the way. I don't think GTG definitely beats Gilman. On even gear, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Then versus Evil, I mean, you can't even talk about Evil with GTG, right? Like, Khaldun, you're dead. Gothmog, you're dead. Grima, you're dead. Sauron, you're super dead. Kirun, you're like omega freaking dead. Like, you beat, with GTG, you beat the Witch King, but you know who else does that? Just as well? Dwalin. You beat Sunni. You know who does that just as well or better? Isildur. So now I would say that if you don't have Isildur and you really need a Sundid counter, then yeah, you have to fall back on GTG, but that doesn't mean that he's a good investment in the long run. You equal draw Gothmog? No way, man. With GTG and RP? No way. No. On equal gear, I would love to see that report. An equal draw on Gothmog. There's no fucking way in the world, bro. Gothmog has like 54% flat damage reduction against GTG. And uses Reapers. There's no way. You gotta send me a report. is... I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying the Gothmogs I've seen, no. Even fully refined purple Gothmog would just crush purple GTG. See, I don't even think GTG is the best starter, man. You want to know how many tiles I've scouted, T? You want to know how many tiles I've scouted with GTW? 0. I'm just freaking blind hitting 150s since level 20, dude. Just straight blind hitting 150s since level 20. It doesn't matter. GTW, man. I guess this was when I was at my parents' house or something. Boop, 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 boop. It wasn't too bad, actually. Now, I would say GTG in purples is better. GTG in purples is better than GTW in purples. But there's also more that goes into production than just your commander, right? Like, it's not necessarily a fair assessment to say GTG is the best because I can climb the day one ladders with GTG. You're leaving out the fact that you're using an ult account to scout every single tile from power 40 and up, right? You're leaving out the fact that you play more during day one than probably 99% of people, which is totally fine. Like, for example, what was I was ranked 50 or something? I've taken a nap. I went to my parents' house for dinner. I took care of my daughter. I had breakfast with my wife. Like, I've probably played like literally hours less. I mean, not saying that I'm the best or anything, but maybe it's clairvoyancing 200s or whatever. I don't know, but the point being, you can't necessarily say GTG is the best because I do well with him, and leave out the fact that there's a bunch of other factors, particularly the time commitment, right? I'm playing on Karch's account. I mean, okay. I'm not sure. Karch's account is good, dude, but it's not like a Kraken account. Am I scouting with AM or no? I'm just blind hitting. It should be fine. I mean, I could scout and be more efficient, but I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? But like, this Aomer should be able to blind hit relatively efficiently. I could probably fix up his skills now that he has full cav, but whatever. It's gonna be good enough. So it's like, okay, in the specific circumstance that you scout every single tile and pick the perfect fights and reskill for fights, then yeah, GTG can do super well, but like so could any other commander. Whereas GTW, like, he just blind hits. And when I get to 200s, he's just gonna blind hit. Like, I'm not gonna have to clairvoyance from my ult to reset tiles. I'm just gonna smack the freaking 200, right? Top 5%? Maybe. I mean, it's... I talked about this earlier on one of the earlier streams. I freaking love Karch. Dude's my homie. One of my best gaming friends of all time, so I'm not hating on him by any means. the account is fantastic, but it's not like a Kraken account. Like he has Faramir, he has Dwalin with budget frenzy and only R18. He has Aomer and he has GTW. I mean, that's his account, right? No, 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 dude. He did not spend as much on GTW as your entire account. No way. Like, this is his T3s, right? And it took him, like, 7 seasons to get that GTW. Like, it's a great account, but it's not, like an insane, like, Omega redonkulous account. Like, Budget Frenzy, not even full refined Giga Hammer. Like, he has gear for like 3 to 4 commanders. And then like purples don't even count, right? Anybody has endless purples. Mega Whale? No, 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 no. Bree is a Mega Whale, dude. Bree has like 8 R25 commanders. Actually, almost 12. Because he said earlier, he said he has 8, and then 4 more that are almost there. Here. Yeah. 8 current R25s with 4 that are R20 plus, and he's only 5 seasons played. That's a Mega Whale. Yeah, whale for sure, but not insane exactly. Yeah, yeah. Oh, how close am I to main hall 6? Do I need to just stop training troops? Probably. Stop training troops, gather, and try to stay up for a little bit longer. Though Bree never shows his reports. But like Bree has R25 Dwalin with fully refined gold gear in every slot. R25 GTW with exactly the same gear as this GTW. He has R25 Haldir, R25 like GTG, Aomer. A better Aomer than Karchus Aomer, by the way. Better Faramir than Karchus Faramir. Like fully refined hammer, fully refined Aegis on Hunter's Guide. He started pushing Elrond. I don't even want to know what respect that's already up to. Actually, let's take those off of him for now. What do I even add to Faramir? Maybe just kill off the last horseman. Should be good enough. You guys are fools? I don't know, man. No, on GTW normally run sustain pipe. Because at least in Ungo, we don't normally run GTW as a cav commander. Against good, you could. And Karch has. But against evil, you don't have the points for it even at R25. And it's not cost efficient against evil. Like, you need to kill Sunni. Cav doesn't do that. Dune is not a very good fight anyway. But with Cav, it's even worse. I'd like to test crit care versus sustain. Karch tested it and said sustain is way better for GTW. I believe him. He has way more experience with it than I do. But I would like to test it. Oh, you definitely heard Falling in Reverse, dude. That's like my favorite active band. Maybe my favorite band ever. At this point. I don't know if I can play that on YouTube. Die, MF or die. Yeah, I freaking love Falling in Reverse, man. It's like, I don't know if there's a single song by them, now that I think about it, that I dislike. It's just all good songs. Is there a good side commander that crit care is better than sustain for? Maybe not. I think Gala's gonna want unique or sustain. Arwen's gonna want sustain. Rada's gonna want sustain. Yeah, maybe not. Actually, you know who it might? No, Reigns would be better on her. Yeah, there might not be. Maybe Celeborn? Although you'd probably just run a different... You'd probably run, like, just something else. Like rear reinforcement or something on him. Yeah, maybe there's not. I don't know. If there is a good side commander that would run crit care over sustain, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll say that much, I guess. Rittermark? No, it's not worse than a Cutlass, dude. It's objectively not worse than a Cutlass. If you're talking about a cost efficiency standpoint, I agree. But from a cost efficiency standpoint, purple is always better than gold. In terms of raw power, a fully refined Reach is definitely better than a Cutlass. At least on Theoden. Maybe not on Aowen. But for sure on Theoden. Because 12% damage on Cab that are hitting for between 50 and 60 damage is going to add more than a +3 attack. Dude, Watch the World Burn. I love that song, man. Love it. It doesn't matter that it has basic. It has 12% damage. It's like, look. Can I add calculator to this? How do I add calculator to my sources? Yeah, I know it only has % damage. I know. That's the entire point. Let's add new source. Calc. Calculator app. Look, it's beautiful. I can pull up a calculator. Does it move around though? Okay, yeah, it works. You get +3 and 9% on a Cutlass. Yeah, but the percent... I should move this away for a second. I'm getting this weird blurry pop-up on my screen. I don't think you guys can see it, but that was weird. Okay, so first of all, Cutlass only applies to melee, obviously, whereas Reach is also going to affect Bow Knights, which, depending on what you're fighting and how you're running Theoden, could be the most significant portion of your damage, right? If you're running like a non-tanky build, which I actually don't like non-tanky build that much, but there's definitely use cases for it. So in any case where Theoden is using bow knights, the reach is always going to be better. But then the deeper point is the way that stacking percent damage works, especially with regard to percent reduction, is that it's going to depend on how much plus percent damage you come out with after Rohirrim stacks. That's going to be very crucial to... I feel like this song is super loud while I'm trying to talk. Maybe it's not. But it's like with GTG, right? One of his issues in RP is that he doesn't have plus percent damage, which means any source of minus percent damage is even more brutal. Because if you're below a net of plus 0% damage, your plus attack is actually being reduced. And so the reach helps you not hit that point where your plus damage is being dunked on by things like units having 150 freaking defense these days. And so to some extent you would have to look at what is the overall mitigation of the target that you're hitting. And then at that point, reach versus cutlass is going to depend, like it'll depend on that, as well as what other modifiers there are in play. But the cutlass isn't always worth plus 3, because if you go to negative plus damage, you're losing it. So it's not as black and white as saying, like, cutlass is definitely always better than reach. It's certainly more economical. Hopefully my explanation made sense. I kind of lost my own train of thought in the middle there. Oh, and this is where Faramir starts to get non-exciting points. Like if you're hitting Gothmog, for example, 334, I think so. Where do I even see it? Yep, 334. Yeah. The big issue with Cav, beyond what you're saying in terms of cost, you don't have a great option for a solid DPS unit. And so there's like conflicting, there's a bunch of conflicting stuff going on. First problem is you don't have burst damage. So if you look at Theoden, you have no burst. You have to stack up Rohirrim, which is really problematic with the way combat works, with effective command and stuff. And then your most reliable damage option is Bow Knights, unless you have Marshals. And even then I'd have to do the math. Marshals are probably better, I don't know. I imagine they are. But then when you're gearing, if you're relying on Bow Knights for damage, the gear gets super awkward. Like, do you give him a Ranger's Shroud to increase Bow Knight damage, or you give him a Warborn, which doesn't affect the Bow Knights but does help your front line? Do you give him a Hunter's Guide or not? Or do you give him something like a Cask of Pride to stack melee stuff? So like gear synergy wise, you want to be stacking, in my opinion, purely gear synergy wise, you want to be stacking melee cav, but then you just don't do enough damage. And then if you're stacking range damage, now you're not tanky enough, and Bow Knights don't really do enough damage on their own outside of TE to carry a fight for you in the same way that like Sentinels do, or Reapers, excuse me, Reapers do. Can I path to this? Do I just path with... Yep, the counters certainly don't help either. You're for sure right about that. It just adds insult to injury at that point. Like, you're already struggling to deal damage, and now there's a unit that's taking, what, 20% less damage from you? 30% less damage or something? Good night, man. I'm probably going to hop off here in a minute, too. My voice is starting to get super worn out from all the talking. You can probably tell I'm having to, like, clear my throat and pause constantly. Oh, I don't want to snipe that. Not from Gato especially. Anyways, T, if you're still here, I would agree though, Reach is a pretty bad item. There's almost zero situations. There probably are absolutely zero situations, actually, that Reach is better than Giga Hammer, even on Theoden. Like, if I had to pick between Gigantic Hammer and Reach, I wouldn't even run the numbers. It's gotta be Gigantic Hammer. Like, I mean, you can disagree with it, but, like, the percent damage math is there. Like, if you're hitting a Gothmog with 54% from skills and another, like, 18% from gear, should be a pretty fat frickin' Gothmog. That's what, 72% damage reduction? That you was gonna get, what, 60% plus? Like, plus 60%? Maybe less than that? Rohirrim is gonna be, what, 40%? And you get 9% from Cutlass, that's 49. You're still down more than 20% damage before defense is taken into account. Let's say they get another 20% from defense, which is only going to be like 60 points of defense. Now your plus 3 from Cutlass is becoming plus 1.5-ish. I mean, Theo's going to lose that regardless of gear anyway. But at least the Reach is going to help Rohirrim stack slightly better and have a slightly better modifier. Ooh, good troops for the first time. Seems good. Yeah. It's pretty silly, Jesus Christ. There's tons of cap counters, they don't have burst damage, they don't have reliable melee DPS. Should you grab Hobbit Archer? I don't know. Maybe. Like, they might be decent on GTG. I don't know, I never really messed with... Oh, you mean to level on? I mean to level on for sure. Or do you mean to push power on? I mean push power on, yeah, that would make sense too. Because what are they? Are they plus 310? Or did they even change those camps too? They changed like everything in this game. Yeah, 310. They're still 310. I mean, yeah, if you're just trying to push power, it makes sense. They're super easy to kill. Like I'm sure you know that. It's like the easiest camp in the game. Just free XP. You can kill them at like level 2. Oh, how close am I to main hole 6? Probably not close enough. 30,000. Basically of everything. That's like 2 more hours that I have to be awake. It's like 1:40 a.m. Yikes. What level? Shoot, probably 25 plus is a serious answer. What level were they? I would think 25 plus would be pretty efficient. Ugh. If you already have rangers trained, maybe even lower. I think 25 would be high enough, yeah. I would think so. With rangers, maybe even a little bit lower. If you're willing to invest gold into their skill. Which, probably not the best use of gold unless you're selling off a bunch of gear. But... oh, I forgot to keep sweeping. I even reinforced him and forgot to keep sweeping. Silly me. Can I just hit 12s with him? Not sure. I want to be somewhat troop efficient so that GTW can hit some more. So I think I need 10s or 6s. That should work. Oh yeah, Gala should be totally fine for it. I would think. Between the healing and if you have points in barrier or white council, should be plenty. Anyway, I've been saying I'm about to go to bed for like 30 minutes now, so I'm actually gonna go lay down and give my voice a break. It was a solid, like, what, 10 hours of streaming today or something. This was at least 2 hours, I think. And then earlier was 3 and 2 or something. I don't know. Been talking a lot, so I'm gonna go chill. Not really doing much at this point, but waiting for resources on main hall 6 anyways. So, no. Dude, I've gotta leave you, T. My voice is suffering. Can't you hear it? I can like barely finish a complete sentence at this point without clearing my throat. And there's just nothing going on right now either, right? Like, I have a few more hits with Faramir, a couple hits with GTW, like, literally sitting here waiting for resources to start my main haul. Thanks, Aaron. Hopefully, like, if this server is as action-packed as I think it's going to be, hopefully I'll be able to stream a good bit of it, as long as we don't lose immediately. So, and even then, maybe T will let me observe from his account, so I can watch some other fights. But definitely appreciate everybody hanging out. And I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow or not. I don't know, we'll see. Tomorrow might be a relaxing and catch-up day. So I'm already going to be exhausted from the start, so. Have a good night, guys.